Oh, look who's back. Can you play? You busy? Guys, we're going to do a quick roll call, all right? You. Good. Reier. Oh, God. Not again. God, I always do this. Right? I'm here. Oh, good. God, I'm always late. I'm just, just having meetings with myself and showing up 30 minutes late. It's like, well, then who's been here? If I'm not here, then who's... Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Hole in the Pen Cap. I'm so glad you made it. I'm Reier cameraman, comedian, unicyclist, kind of owner of toilet paper rolls. I've got about 100. I swear this is not an underestimation. This is accurate. I have about 100 rolls of toilet paper in my car right now, in garbage bags. It looks like dead bodies. Nobody's been getting a ride home because I don't want to explain that issue. I got a bunch of toilet paper rolls because I thought it'd be really funny to stack them on Good Evening News, one of my favorite shows in Austin. It's like a sketch show. And I thought it'd be really funny to stack them up and see how high I could go. It was not funny. Oops. Got to be self-aware, right? You got to know when something's not funny. Otherwise, people will comment, hey, I friggin' hate you. Oh, God. Oh. They'll still do that either way, I've noticed, which is weird. It's weird when people comment negative things because it's like, I don't know you. But thank you for your insight. Thank you. I'm not saying it, it's just when it's not constructive, when it's like hateful. God, I can't. I got this one today. God, I can't fudging stand you. And it wasn't fudging. It doesn't bother me, but it seems, it's not productive. Well, we've got a co-host today. It's just action. God, you can really, if you have $3, you can really explore the bounds of electrolyte drinks. It's a good time. It feels very refreshing, like I'm jumping into a pond, trying to land on a lily pad. You don't need to see that. You never need to see that. I have all these rolls of toilet paper. I'm generally pretty messy, though, in my car. I'm trying to get better. Though I keep saying that, and I don't know what I'm actively doing I'm just trying to throw things away. I don't know why I've always been so messy in my car. I'm kind of messy everywhere. Like my room, I would say, is a lot like a mini golf course. We've got windmills and balls laying a pond. I'm just kind of playing things where they lie. Right? Like why put things away when you can just get into them the next day, right? Because you're gonna take things out anyways, right? You're gonna take it back out. So why put it? Some people would say, oh, so that you can live and have room to walk. I get that. I love walking. I love walking space. I've been known to put my mattress in my closet. Got to get that out of the way. No room for you, bucko. It's not nighttime hours. Or it is nighttime hours, but this is when I graze. This is when I frolic through the flowers. It's not currently nighttime hours, though. It is about 4:32. There's a clock in front of me. Got to keep me accountable. Oh, Reier, it's been 9 hours and you haven't said anything into the microphone. Can you leave? Yes. I will. That's never happened. But that would be fun. You know, sometimes you just get distracted and you realize, oh, it's been 40 minutes and I've just kind of been making faces into the camera and I'm wasting people's time. Because no one's in here, but there are people that come. I do have a producer, very kind producer, who comes. And so, yeah, you can't just, or this happened last time. I just kind of started hiding and then popping up, thinking, oh, that would be fun. That would be good. That'd be entertaining. It's not entertaining. Right. It's not. So we're doing our best there. Yeah, I'm not very cleanly. I think I've always had that goal of being like, oh, I want to put things away, but I don't have the motivation to do it. To be like, oh, I don't want to dress my bed. Like I'll put sheets. I mean, right now I do have sheets. I've gone long periods without sheets, with just like a blanket that you kind of fold hamburger style. Do you remember that? Just check. Do you remember hot dog and hamburger style? They never had like a vegan option, right? There was never like, oh, you could fold it book and ruler style. I'm pretty sure I made that up. I think, but because I remember I've been a vegetarian for a long time, and I don't know why, because it's not really for moral or health reasons at this point. I think I just feel bad. So that'll maybe be something to get into. I don't. Any vegetarians out there that don't really know why? I mean, I've been told when I get drunk, I will eat meat. So that's not good. When I get like soup, like not black. I don't know if I've maybe blacked out once or twice. But I guess I wouldn't know either. I mean, but I seem to always remember. Oh, I was staring at people and asking women if they wanted a hug. Do you want a hug? All right, I'll be okay. Getting out of your way. I get it. I'm very understanding even when intoxicated, but I don't get drunk that much because it's not a good habit. It's a scary habit. Oh, we've got an uptime. I like to have multiple options. I love a good liquid. God, can I have one thing? Or it's more than one. I love a good liquid. These are caffeinated drinks. They're natural caffeine, which it makes you wonder what's natural versus unnatural in the caffeine world. Is it the amount of sugar? Is it some sort of chemical? Everything's got all these chemicals in it now, doesn't it? And then, which is crazy that I guess everybody's talked about it. The healthy stuff is so much more expensive than the unhealthy stuff. And so then people that don't have money kind of just get stuck being unhealthy, and then they get all these medical bills. I suppose that's one of the bigger issues in America. I don't know if it's kind of nationwide, but I don't know where I was going with that one. But yeah, I love Uptime. It's one of my favorite energy drinks, because it kind of is like a little astronaut person. Looks like a little astronaut. Just kind of eating a freezer-dried ice cream bar. That's the only food we kind of knew about astronauts eating as kids. Like the astronaut ice cream. They sell that at Hobby Lobby. Believe me, I know. I have I pretty much know everything that's sold at Hobby Lobby. That's my place. I know I've talked about it before. as a kid, I would just go, like not a kid, maybe like teenager. I would just have my dad drop me off at Hobby Lobby and I would wander. Oh, puzzle glue. Oh, different shaped doorknobs. I need one of those. I wouldn't buy things a lot. I just wanted to look. I'd start organizing things and then the employees would come over. Hey, you don't have to do that. Oh, I know. Maybe you should. No, it was never passive aggressive. I really enjoyed it, which is weird. It's weird that I like organizing things when it's for other people. Like if I had a significant other, it's a crazy thing to call that. An insignificant. Well, what? I guess is a friend like an insignificant other? Because that seems rude. That seems mean. Or maybe like a stranger, a homeless person could be an insignificant other, unless you're very close with a homeless. And I am. I have a couple that I believe I have talked about. The Iceman, very kind homeless man who I call the Iceman because every time it used to be every time I go by, he hasn't done it as much recently, but it used to be, hey, lady boy, who are you talking to? Is that me? You want some ice? Is it shaved? It's a kind man. Yeah, if I had a significant other, if I had someone that was important, what would be a synonym for imperative aside, significant other, important addition, I imagine at that point I will be more clean because I do care what other people think. And it's to a certain, you can't care too much, but you should care in some ways, right? That's the hard thing. Like there's certain things people will tell you that kind of contradict each, like you're supposed to listen to yourself, but not talk to yourself, right? Because that's creepy, right? All right, okay. I don't know what that was going to become, like a volcano person. That's what I imagine a volcano would be if they were a person. God, I've got a release. Is that what a volcano would call? I'm about to explode. Yeah, whenever you think of volcanoes, you don't think of them as being joyful or easygoing. Yeah, you'd never hear of an easygoing volcano, would you? Yeah, I'm just kind of just going with the... Yeah, because it seems like a scary thing when they do that, when the volcanoes explode, erupt. Up. I remember, did you ever do the Mentos? Oh, sorry. You got to keep him involved. Where's him? I never asked. I'm sorry. Did you ever do the Mentos and Diet Coke experiment? That was so fun. I loved doing that. You just put the Mentos in the Coke and you shake it and you take off the cap and that's another sound. I'm ready. Yeah, I think as a kid I kind of wanted to, I don't think I ever did that, but I remember thinking about like what would happen if I drank the Diet Coke and then swallowed the Mentos. Would I become a volcano? Those are things you think about as a child, or as an adult too. Oh, am I not allowed to be a volcano? Kind of I guess Mentos and Diet Coke aren't necessarily a volcano, but it's It's like an arts and crafts version, I suppose, of a volcano. Like I don't know. I love arts and crafts. I've always been that way since I was a kid. I love sitting down and spending significant amounts of time to create something that typically ends up being thrown away or doesn't look good, and that bothers me. I do get bothered by like incongruencies, and which is crazy. It's crazy that, I can, I'll just leave all of these now and later wrappers on my floor and pretend pretend it's a hopscotch, or pretend it's some sort of leapfrog where I have to jump over them. But I'm okay with, where were we? Where are we? Where was I? The incongruencies. And it will bother me. I struggle to find, that's something I struggle with in podcasting sometimes, is I'll lose where I'm going. And then I kind of won't find it again. And be like, oh, right, just rewind. I can't, because I'm making it right now. I suppose you could rewind and tell me. But at that point, it'll be over. I would have already made the episode. This is episode 4, by the way. Did I say that? Episode 4. I'm enjoying it. I think there's something very special in talking by yourself for an extended period of time, recorded. I've always done it. I've always loved talking to myself, because when you're talking to yourself, nobody. I don't know if I've talked about this on here before, but anything can be true, because there's no one to tell you it's not, because it's you. I'm an octopus. Cool. That's why I've always loved childcare too, is kids have that kind of thought process of, like I used to babysit this little boy who had the best imagination ever. I mean, the way he looked at the world was like everything was something else, which is maybe some people would be concerned about it, but I thought it was beautiful. I loved how he thought, because they would be like, oh, the stairs aren't the stairs. They're steps of a bridge, or steps of a ladder, or so, And I remember one time, it was like one of the first times I watched him. It might have been the first time. I came in and I saw him in the back. I said, hey, how are you? Or it's good to, I just greeted him. And he went, I'm a robot. Oh, I know. Because I'm a telescope. It didn't have to make sense. That's the fun part about kids, is nothing has to make sense, because they live in that world of anything can be anything, right? If you've ever played like a game with like some sort of fighting game, or because that's kids love to do that, where you're like fighting with swords or whatever, but there's nothing actually in their hands. They're just like, oh, firepower. And then the other kid will be like, oh, well, your fire didn't hit me because I'm made of water. It's like, oh, you weren't made of water 20 seconds ago. It's like, oh, yeah, but my fire turns water people back into people. So I'm winning. It's like, whoa, oh my gosh. This is their minds are beautiful, because every obstacle, they immediately create a solution to it. Or like, a big one is they'll be like, oh, but I have a shield and the shield's covering my face. So you just tried to hit me with your sword and my shield deflected. It's like, wow, I wish we could think of that, think like that as adults, right? Like I get a parking ticket and I go, oh yeah, but my car's invisible. Or maybe that wouldn't. or a homeless person gets mad at me and I go, yeah, but I'm the mayor. It just kind of becomes lying. That's a good point. That's probably not healthy. I had an interesting experience with a homeless person last night, actually. I went with a few friends to a bar where it was a birthday party for another friend. And I wanted to go because I wanted to see if I could. I've never been good at parties. And so I love being around people. I love my friends. I love hanging out. I love talking. Typically in like small groups though. I'd say usually if it's more than like 4 or 5 people, that's when I start to hide. Or if it's even like 4 or 5 people that I don't know really well. I got to get at, I'm going to find a bathroom and I'm going to lock her down. I'm going to, hey, where's Reier? I'm walking in a triangular formation in the parking lot, pretending that each corner is a different city. And I'm getting on the bus to go to the other city and then I'm getting onto a boat to go to the other city that's the second corner. And then you cut, Reier, it's dangerous out. What are you doing? Oh, just commuting. And I wanted to see if I could do it because I hadn't tried really to go to a party in a while. So I went and I love people, but when there's too many people, it's hard for me, I think. Because it's hard to communicate when there's so many options. I mean, I guess that's maybe what it is. There's so many options, and a lot of the options have already paired up with each other. So it's like, oh, do I just kind of go up to people that are already talking? I think that's what most people, they just go up to people that are already talking and they also start talking. Hey, oh, you're talking about I want to be able, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I'm interrupting people and I don't want to. I don't want to bother people. But if you never want to bother people, you'll just kind of end up not being a part of it, which is, kind of, I think why I've always liked talking to myself, because you'll know if you're bothering yourself. You'll know right away, which sometimes does happen. Sometimes you will be bothering yourself. Hey, get out of my face. We have the same face. What do you want me to do? But when you're bothering yourself, I think that's probably why people, drink or take drugs or, I guess drinking is a drug in many ways, or in all the ways, I suppose, but, or even just watch or spend a lot of time on technology. I think that's a big problem now, is everybody's kind of on their phones all the time. Or, I think I heard recently that their TikTok's finally being banned, right? I feel like, is that true though? Because that keeps happening. I feel like I've heard that for a few years, that it's I've never been into TikTok. It's too, it feels weird. Like it makes me uncomfortable. I don't know what about it. But the fact that there's so much personality being put into who are you? Who are you? Why are you dancing? No, dancing's fun, but it's weird because it's not quite dancing. It's, and that's something that TikTok has really formed a lot of the younger generation. I don't know, what's after Gen Z? I'm Gen Z. For Zodiac? No. I'm Gen Z. I don't know, what's Gen Alpha or something? Is that what they're called? Yeah, it's weird how the letters kind of seem to There's a Gen X. Maybe Gen X? I don't know. It's all strange. It's all strange. But yeah, the dance, because like I said, I used to babysit a lot and I would see the kids. I remember we had a dance party or something. It was, what do we call it? It's like a dance challenge. Don't know if I've talked about this on here yet, but the kids were like, yeah, let's have a dance off. And they would go up and they were just doing like TikTok dances that it was so odd. Like I went up, I was like, yeah, let's have a dance off. And I went up and I was doing like spinning. And maybe that's me. I have no formal dance training, but I have no informal dance. Maybe what would informal dance? Maybe when I'm in my room, I throw a pillow up and then I do a plie, or is it what you call? I do love to dance alone. I'll put on some Sia, some Katy Perry, platypus. I wasn't sexual. I was thinking of the word platypus. And then the kids went on. They're probably between the ages of like 4 and 9 or something. And it was like the music was, baby, you're a firework. Like they weren't moving the rest of their body because they're used to just seeing like, I guess the upper body, or it was just all these TikTok, like a lot of popping and locking. Baby, you're a firework. And honestly, I love is that something people do? They catch the ball? I like that. I've always loved miming. It's really fun. I took sign language in high school, and it got me really into like facial expressions. I've always liked facial expressions, but it got me really into miming in a way. I guess deaf people kind of are. Is that good to say? Deaf people kind of are like mimes in a way, like more, like kind of an advanced mime. A deaf person is kind of like an advanced mime. That seems offensive, doesn't it? Well, but it's advanced. I'm not saying they're like a mediocre mime. I remember I went to a lot of deaf meetups because whenever I get into something, I get really into it. I'm not, I don't do something a little bit. That's always been kind of a positive and a negative is I go into something and it's full force of like, oh, I'm going to be the best that I can be. Well, I don't know if I ever think I'm going to be the best. I don't have a lot of confidence, and I think it's getting better as time goes on, but confidence is definitely something you should earn. I think undeserved confidence is crazy, and I know I've talked about that on here before too, but it's just scary. But yeah, I loved sign language. I had an amazing sign language teacher in high school too that would we always we couldn't talk at all in the class, and we put on like earplugs, and it was just it was clear that she really was very passionate about teaching kids how to do, which is amazing. And so I had a really good sign language experience. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't say I'm fluent anymore. I know I have put that on job applications, which I'm glad nobody ever called me out on, because wouldn't that be, hey, you want to? Yeah, it's like one of those people that are like fake interpreting. I can converse with somebody. I mean, I haven't tried in a while because when I worked at McDonald's, I did it, a few times when there were deaf people. Which, it's always so weird when that's on the news, right? It's like, oh, deaf man went into local Taco Bell. A teenager took advantage of sign language classes and asked him how he was. I don't know. I think it's human decency that doesn't need to be on the news. Hey, Chick-fil-A didn't kick deaf person out of the restaurant. They let them order. This is odd. But yeah, everybody, disabilities shouldn't make it so you can't. I mean, also, I would say, a lot of deaf people can lip read. They also write. I feel like a lot of deaf people communicate with like paper and pen or their phone. But yeah, no, I loved sign language. I was in debate in high school because let's have nothing make sense. Yeah, I was in debate, and I really was not good at it at all. I think it was the similar reason that I was in wrestling. I have this habit that's kind of strange. I have a strange habit of choosing the least reasonable option, right? Like, Reier, you're going into high school. What electives do you want to choose? Well, I'm anxious, pretty quiet, kind of chubby, unathletic. Let's go debate and wrestling. Let's have that give it a go. Let's give that a go. But I also think it was very valuable in that, when you choose things that aren't easy or that don't make sense, I don't know, I think you have to throw yourself into the fire in many ways and go, I just need to do it because maybe you'll be good at it. And if you're not good at it, with me in debate, that was pretty bad. I think I was just pretty good at performing. And that was my thing. Like, I was just good at, making kind of, I was almost just pretending to be someone that was good at debate was what it was. And I specifically remember one of I did a public forum, which is when you're with a partner and you go up against two other people and you guys just debate on a topic. Or there's usually, I don't remember what it's called because it's been so long, but there's just like an issue that you debate. And I remember I think it was the first one I ever did. It was about reparations, like something about should the government or should Black people be paid reparations for slavery. Worded it in a more, worded it in a better way. And I remember we were on the negation side. Like, we were saying no. We had that fun challenge. Nope. No way. Not them. Already very difficult. Because I guess when you're on the negation side of something like that, where it's like, I shouldn't be the one. This isn't my choice. You kind of just have to take it into very, like the economic standpoint. Be like, we're already in trillions of dollars, in debt, like trillions of dollars worth of debt. The people that are currently in power, weren't directly. It's all horrible. It's a horrible side to be on. It's very difficult. And I remember at one point I kind of started talking about the benefits of racism. I didn't know what to do. I didn't mean for it to be like that. It just I was like, sometimes the economy benefits from discrimination. And then my debate coach was like, Reier, what are you saying? I don't know. I don't agree with anything I'm saying. I don't know what to do. Yeah, it's hard when you have to debate something you don't believe. Because then it's like, I guess I'm having to pull random things out of thin. Well, racism is good for ponies. Ponies like racism shouldn't have been said ever. That word did not need to be brought into the situation. Yeah, but we lost pretty bad. And I had a really good partner, a very intelligent Indian girl who was very kind. I think she liked being my partner because I was good at performing it. Like reading, gosh, it's so long, I don't even remember the terms, but we had like a paper, we'd write out like the different points we were making, and then you'd read it in kind of like a memorized way. You just, in point two, blah, 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 and the New York Times, you just kind of read all the different things. But from there, I stopped probably a year and a half into debate. But what I found out I was really good at was like the public speaking aspect, like the oratory and poetry and prose. And it was really fun because you got this little black binder and you would put in these sheet protect. Oh God, I love a sheet protector. It just feels so comforting and so safe. It's like a plastic little, slip, like the size of a paper, but you put the paper inside of it and you can still see it, but the paper doesn't get crumpled. I love that. And I was pretty good at it. Yeah, you like make a story. One time I went, so I think this was at regionals or something. It was like a bigger competition. I was doing prose because that was the one I was the best at. And I made it. It was a story about this African-American, this black man. Is this too much for one episode? I don't know. Am I being weird? I think always. I'm sorry. If I'm being weird, I think I have never not been that. So, but the book is a wonderful book. I can't remember. It was like, I can't remember what it's called, but it was about this man who learned how to read at the age of 97. He was a black man. And my story was speaking as that man. So I think I unintentionally, I don't know, but it did well, which was crazy. I got like third place. I did pretty well. Because it wasn't, that's the hard line. Is that racist? Is that black voice? I wasn't doing, I think I was doing just like an elderly, oh my God, maybe it was black voice. I don't know. Let's open up with each other. God, I love people. I love everybody. You got to be honest. You got to just say things sometimes. Well, what else has been going on? We got our lawn mowed, which was fun. One of my comic friends, Matty Stu, so funny, and he works with me over at Sunset. And he mowed the lawn, and he was so kind because I didn't realize how bad it was in the backyard. The dogs were starting to get really scared to go back there. Which would, I would open the door and they would just like look at me. Don't make me do that. Oh God, I don't. And so we reached out, to a few friends. We're like, hey, does anybody know? And then I hit up a lawn mowing company first, and there was, it was just very confusing. I think they didn't understand what I was asking for. And they're like, we can come check it out like in a week. And I was like, okay. And then we found out Matty could do it. And he came by and cut it down. He did it so fast and so efficiently. Gosh, I wish I could, I don't know. I need to get a lawnmower maybe. I don't think I would do it enough. I think I'm not great with the lawn, landscaping. Is that landscape? Oh, it's not lawnscaping. Landscaping stuff. I don't know. I think that would go into a similar category as like having a messy room. I don't know. I don't think it gets in the way until I want to like walk. Unless I'm doing something back there. I think that's why we decided, oh, we've got to get this taken care because the dogs are scared. It's like a G.I. Joe. I mean, you go back there, it's like a jungle where you have to machete down this isn't good. But it's, we didn't get in trouble with like the cat, with like the neighborhood watch. I don't think we have a neighborhood. There's no way we have a neighborhood watch. There's no way it's, the neighborhood's very interesting. We have a lot of prostitutes, a lot of ladies of the night. Very kind women. I love them. Good gals. And I don't know if have I talked about how there's one that stands on our street by our house. I think I'm kind of starting to get concerned for her. I love her. She's very kind. I haven't talked to her, but we make eye contact quite a bit because I think she maybe thinks I want to be a patron. Not at this point. Not right now, but maybe, who knows? Who knows for the future, but she's very kind. She's just on the corner a lot. So I don't think she gets chosen a lot. It's just a fact. I think because there are quite a few in our neighborhood, or in the general area. And so, whenever she's not there, I kind of start to worry for her. Like, oh God, I hope she's okay. I wonder who she's with. What's she doing? What's she wearing? Just kind of this odd concern that I've developed for a prostitute that doesn't know who I am or care. She just, I'm sure she's fine. I don't, I'm like a concerned father. It feels like, sitting, maybe I should bring a dining room table, to her corner, sit it under the street lamp, cut meatloaf slowly while waiting for her return. She gets back. Oh, it's 3 a.m. Hey, what happened to dinner at 6? Oh, who am? Just because your mom's gone doesn't mean I don't love you. I made you some green beans. Why can't I be a prostitute's father? Right? Let's open our minds. Open our minds. But yeah, no, our house has quite a few issues, but I love the house so much. It's so nice to have, to feel very secure in a place. Be like, oh, I'm not, I love my roommates. One of my roommates did leave a raw chicken in the sink a few weeks back. And, it's okay. It's not a big deal. It was for a while. I think she was going to de-thaw it. I'm pretty sure she left it in in water, and then it was like 4 or 5 days. I was like, I feel like it's probably ready. I feel like the chicken's probably de-thawed at this point. But yeah, we've had issues in the house. We had rats when we first got there, and not the domesticated kind. They were up in the attic, and there was this guy that I call the rat trap guy, because he came probably like 2 or 3 times a week in the morning at like 8 or 9 a.m. And that's not when I'm awake, because I go as being, as a comic, you go to sleep at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. So he would come, I'd be like dead asleep. I just hear a knocking. And then I would, knowing it's him, and he would, you got to let him in. Because also we didn't want the rats. So it's like, I'll go. And I was always the one to let him in, because the place he had to go to check, the only way to the attic is through my room. Right? So I'd be sleeping, go get him. Hey, here to check the rat traps. He always said that. Here to check the rat traps. Oh, good. Well, don't mind my pile of laundry that I've been kind of molding into a volcano. There's just those fold. When you put socks into each other and they're round and hard. like you put a sock into a sock and you fold it. Those are just kind of spewing out at the top as the volcanic. Or maybe there's like a red scarf and that's the ash. It's like the, what's it called that volcanoes have? Lava? Don't mind that. Don't touch it. It's, I just have weird, that's my emotional support xylophone. Don't touch him. He's being tuned. Can you tune a xylophone? I don't know, but the guy was really kind. And so, come in. Hey, yeah, don't mind that bag of 20 bag. I have this grocery bag that's full of about 20 bags of veggie chips. I don't want to talk about it. It's just kind of hanging on in my closet, just whenever I need a fun snack. And so, he gets his ladder, he climbs up. One time he got a rat. Woo! It's sad, but woo, I guess. I mean, because I was getting scary. One time I went out into the kitchen and I guess the rats had been eating the dog food. Like they bit into the container. And so I went to go get something that was sitting next to the dog food, like a water or something. And I reached my hand out and I didn't touch the rat, but I heard this like a thump, and it was right next to me, and it ran away, and I screamed, ah, no, and I like comically ran away. No, you ever get so scared that that wasn't okay because people were sleeping, but I was so scared. I don't know why rats are so scared. I guess they could bite you and give you diseases, and they're just kind of a scary. I've had pet rats too. As a kid, we had pet rats. So I love rats when they're, I don't think I'll ever have, it feels kind of sad to have an animal that has to stay in a cage 24/7. There's never like a wild hamster. They always have to be, what would a wild hamster kind of look like? Because you never see those, do you? I think that's just a hamster. You never see them out in the wood, like in the forest. Why don't hamsters live in the forest? That would be fun. They live with you never see like a ferret or a goldfish. There's certain animals that I feel like are only domestic animals. Yeah. I mean, I guess like you're never swimming and you're like, oh, there's a goldfish cracker, like a little goldfish snack. I thought that would be funny. That was not funny. But yeah, have you ever seen videos of people trying to domesticate deers? Like it'll be, maybe a widowed, like middle-aged woman, and it'll show a video. It'll be like, oh, I didn't think that I knew love until I met Jasper. And then it shows a video of like a deer kind of slowly approaching her house. It's like a little log cabin or something. Like, it's always like a strange thing of, oh, I don't think this deer loves you. Because they always add that, it'll be on YouTube or whatever, it'll be like, oh, deer visits house every Christmas. It's like, I don't know if that's why. Oh, deer, every year on the 4th of July, patriotic deer visits family. I think there's just food. There's food outside. The deer wants the food outside. But yeah, no, I'm very much like a deer, right? I'm just kind of, I feel like I make friends in the way that someone would domesticate a deer. Maybe you're walking in the woods. It always happens in the woods. And you hear a ripple in the watering hole. Oh, what's that? You see like a shuffle in the bushes. And then out of one of the bushes you see Oh my God, what is that? I'm trembling with fear. I don't trust you. But why would I? I've only ever lived in the forest with the other Reiers. I only trust the other Reiers. Oh my God, it's a Reier. I've never seen one in real life. It's a Reier. Honey, it's a Reier. And there's no one standing right there, but you go, honey, it's a Reier. And you take a picture. My eyes are red from the flash. But you've got to take a picture because I don't come around often. And then you pull out from your pocket a single tomato basil flavored wheat thin. It's the best flavor because it's tangy but not spicy, and it's kind of everything you could ever ask for. And you hold it out to me. Hey, Reier, come here. How did you know that's my favorite? How did you know? And you hold out the cracker, and I bite it. But what you didn't take into consideration is that the cracker is so small that when you hold it out and I bite your fingers because it's too small. You didn't think about that part. So I bite your fingers and you pull away. You pull away and then you say, ow. And then I run off. Just dodging trees and dodging other animals. And I get back to my where I go. I get my habitat. Where do deers live? I get back to my trees where I live, and I go, oh, they hate me. God, they hate me. But then about 2 weeks later, I'm walking around and I hear you. Hey, Reier. Who is that? Who knows my name? Reier. Look what I brought. And you hold out a saltine cracker. My second favorite. You're not mad? I thought you were mad at me. Thank you for coming back. And you lay it down on the ground. You go, enjoy that. And you walk away backwards into the darkness. And then I pitter-patter, my hooves hitting the ground. And I pick up the cracker. Thank you. God, I love you. And then I start to follow you home sometimes. And you maybe once a week you leave a sleeve of saltine crackers, or a little bowl of wheat thin, the tomato basil flavored wheat thins, on your front porch. You don't open the door, but you watch me on the Ring camera. And then I look into the Ring camera and I nod. We're friends now. Is that how you make friends? I mean, I think that's what I do. That's all I do. And I went to a gay bar. Well, it wasn't a gay bar. It was I think it might be a gay bar, but it was the gay night, which is good. It's good to have it would be weird to have a gay day, but a gay night I think is more appropriate for the activities. But I went to this really cool bar, and it's called Barbarello's, and it has Tuesdays are the gay nights. They call it Tuesdays, which is fun. I like that. I think that's a fun play on words. And so I went in with a few friends, and it's really fun to watch, especially like gay people. So Austin is liberal, but it's liberal kind of in the way that skateboarding is a sport. Like, it's not going to be in the Olympics. I mean, sure, it is, but it's also, Austin is surrounded by conservative. I mean, by conservative cities and red counties, and so it's liberal, but it's, not everybody there is liberal. So it still feels anything could happen at any point. I guess that's the feeling of like, yeah, this is the oasis. This is where the deer come to frolic. But at any point, a lion could approach, right? So you're safe, but are you? Is the thing. But yeah, I feel like gay people in Texas are kind of like the best gays because they kind of had to earn it in a way. Not earn it, but it. You don't come out if you're just a little bit gay. Because it's not that easy. You come out if you really need to. So it's really, it's these people that are really, they're oppressed. And then, well, especially, so at the gay bar, I remember watching, it was mostly gay men, and I need to find a lesbian bar. I want to go to one of those. I asked a lesbian friend of mine to take me, so maybe that'll happen. That'd be fun. But I went to this gay bar, and just watching them dance with each other, it was this beautiful kind of thing of, oh, you need this. Like, it's in Austin, but I still think that there's oppression. Even in Austin, there's like just these gay men kind of flowing with the music and touching, like just like this feeling of joy that felt more legitimate than any feeling of joy I think I've seen in a long time. Like, oh, you're free right now. You're like a free bird. And it was so cool to see that. Like, oh, you feel comfortable here. And it was really beautiful. I like gay bars. I think they're fun to go to. I think, I don't know, I probably won't meet anybody there. I don't know if, I feel like lesbians and gays aren't necessarily like allies. And that's, I don't know, I think gays are so fun. And lesbians, I think we do come off as very serious, very upset. Why? This isn't what I want. Whereas gays, they're very proud, they're very into it, they're doing the parades. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm proud of being a lesbian. I wouldn't go to the parades. I don't like bouncy houses or glow sticks or anything like that. Kind of freaks me out. But I think it's good. I think it's good to kind of be at a place that is, because when I lived in Chicago, it was so open. Everybody was welcome, and there was this feeling of like, at least in terms of homosexuality, this feeling of like, it was almost too easy. You kind of want it to be a little difficult, I feel like. Like in, it's kind of like Chex Mix. Like there were always a few of those brown pieces. I don't remember, like Gardettos, I think. They're the best part. It was my favorite part. And, I would just eat the brown piece, and then I would eat the other pieces. But then one day I got a bag of just the Gardettos, just the brown pieces. And I started eating them, and I thought, this is too much. What happened to the pretzels? Kind of a metaphor for life. You got to have some pretzels. You got to have some of those breadstick things. You've got to have some of the kind of, what are those called? there's like the cheesy ones, and then there's the ones that the squares with holes in them. It's kind of what they look like, checks. A metaphor for life, really. Well, thank you so much for coming to the episode 4. This has been episode 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a podcast. Thank you so much for coming to episode 4 of the Hole in the Pen Cap. I'm Reier Cameraman. I think we had a good time. Let me know. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.